We're live.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kim of Kim Fixes Things. I'm here with Buck Del Campo, and I have thrown Buck Del Campo the most horrific curveball that he has had this year. And I have moved
She,
everything. Everything. Have you ever had that person in your life that was just like, today is the day that we're moving? And they move everything around. Well,
and then the other person shows up clueless,
I am that person, and today is that day. And Bob Del Campo, he's handling it well.
sorta.
No, he hates it. He hates it a lot.
Oops, that all went underneath. I can't do that, can I?
Oh, okay.
Because it's on top. Oh, there it is. It's underneath. Okay, the only one I need is this one. She's moved everything around.
I'm wrecking
Computers.
the system. Pull down. No, no, no. Oh,
Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. Then I need to put this up. Okay, so Twisted
oh
Mopar
man,
Garage.
I've really
She,
wrecked it.
she made a mess out of everything, and I got to learn to deal with it. Okay, and then
If
this
you
thing.
drag that down a little bit, the screen will get big again.
How do I grab that? The
The
cursor
gray
won't.
bar,
The
two down.
cursor won't.
Ooh, there you are, sir. This one right here. If you pull it down here, oh boy, is that big.
Oh, we can spread it between the two screens, and then if now that covers up the chat.
Leave it be little. If you see green, we're
All
live.
right. Just
We're live if it's
the way
green.
it is. It's the way it is. We'll get through it. Tomorrow we'll put it all back the way it was.
Yeah, he wants it back that
I
way.
just want. I walked in here. It's like, what happened?
Okay, so you know how when you make a space and then you work in it for a little while, it starts. If you're that kind of person, you start to nest, and we are that kind of people where it just like you nest into it, and like everything creeps in around you, and you just create. The problem is that the nest is over in the very coldest corner of the shop, farthest from the. It is convenient for filming what we're doing
It's
with the car,
perfect for that.
and it's right beside the tools. So when he's making tool shorts, he can. But as far as like working temperature, if we're doing something here on the desk, it's cold over there, and after an hour or two, his feet get cold, and I'm worried he's going to get sick. Move everything into another random place, and I did, Mike. Mike, I
Well,
did.
I got it all set up. The Studebaker with the flashing lights for the for the super chats, and I'm really getting everything just kind of way I want it. And we can see the Dart in the background or whatever car we have in here. Everything's just sort of there. And Kim decided that I needed to be closer to the wood stove, and here I am, and it's freaking hot over here. So she put a heat shield between me and the wood stove because it was too hot, and now the heat shield's hot. I don't know. I guess we're gonna learn to deal with this.
All right, I'm going
But
to do
then
points real quick, and then we're going to say
Okay,
hello to
okay.
everyone.
Well, at
Buddy,
least we got all the chat over here on another screen, so I could see it all.
we do. We have
That's
two
good.
screens still. Buddy Carafano, you were here first, and you were here at the beginning of stream. I'm going to give you 3 points.
You got something else messed up here.
I'm going to give Mike N 2 points. What's messed up?
You took all our timestamps away.
Oh, I can fix timestamps, I think. There, I got
Ah, there.
timestamps
Now we
back.
got. See, you don't even know what time people came in.
Twisted
Okay.
Mopar Garage, I give you 2 points for making the first comment. KJ Kylie, I give
See,
you two
Twisted
points.
Mopar Garage got
Did I
here right
miss
at 10.
anybody?
Right at 10. Yeah, KJ Kylie, right at 10.
Anybody who I didn't just award points to gets a point for being here right away. You can move it back in the spring when it gets warmer. See, the thing about
Now,
the studio, right, is it needs to be able to move because we're not always working on the same thing, the same kind of thing in the exact same spot. So, like, if you ever watch Bad Chat, the studio is not a place that they sit and don't do anything.
oh,
It
Jolene walks around with
Jolene
Cammy.
walks around with some kind of camera, and it is not like it must be a piece of high tech something. because she's got a lot of
Buff gets
control.
5 points. No, Kim's about ready to take 100 points from me for being an
No,
a-hole.
you know what? No, he's been good about
I
it.
walked in here and went,
I knew he was
what?
gonna. I knew he was gonna. He does not. He has in his mind how things are gonna be, and if you move the goalpost,
it's like if I got in my car and the glove compartment's over here and the rearview mirror's down here on the floor and the back seat's turned around backwards and the battery's upside down hanging from the roof. Isn't this nice?
If I ever drove a vehicle of his, I would not move anything because it would just upset him if it wasn't put back in exactly right.
Kim's like a foot taller than me, and we both drive the Jeep. And if she drives the Jeep around and then I get in it, for some reason, the seat is all the way rammed up against the steering wheel. The seat is all the way forward. I don't know how somebody that's a foot taller than me can sit so close to the windshield and the seat and the steering wheel. And then I move it all back so I'm comfortable.
Jason's Garage, welcome to the stream.
And then,
Paul
hey,
Pajuli,
Jason's Garage.
Also, welcome to the stream. Olive, welcome. Glad you're here.
And they all miss this.
He's all right. He's all right.
Kim moved me.
I did. I moved him.
It's moved the monitors. And I was down there taking a shower and getting ready to come up here. And I come up and I walked in. It's like, what happened?
I wanted to see what we could do. And there are some definite problems with this setup. There's some issues. But I think that there's potential in all of this.
Well, chant your mantra.
Chakra. Center your chakra. Oh.
I guess it could be worse. We could have like 5 or 6 dogs barking like Tony does.
The bark.
You know, there were times I was down there on lives with Tony, and we're trying to talk, and all the dogs are barking, and they just live that way, so they're numb to it. And sometimes you think, can you get the dogs to quiet down? Nobody can hear what's going on. Nobody can hear what's going on. Yeah. Is this going to be a binge session?
No, maybe.
No, it's just there's
not
things.
The whole time. No, we have stuff to do.
Yeah.
Stuff to talk about.
Kim said she wanted to do bench work over here where it's warm.
Maybe.
Daryl B. Lester LeSabre.
Lester LeSabre.
Welcome
to the stream. Jason's Garage and Lester LeSabre. And JB is here. Daryl B is here. I feel like, who's that lady with the lamb chop puppet? And she's like, all my friends.
What was her name?
I don't know.
Sherry Lewis. Sherry
Was
Lewis.
It?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I get points?
Yes. You get 2 points for knowing.
No, how did I pull that out of my dead head? Because it's from when I was a little kid.
Old. That's how
I remember all the old
stuff. That's how
stuff.
old people brains work.
Mike, Ken, you haven't had them dogs.
Thank you, Ben. Going.
I saw you in there tonight. You were in Tony's. I was sitting in there in Tony's kind of while I was getting ready. And then I was over at Dead Dodge Garage for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, yes. What was Jamie at Dead Dodge talking about tonight?
They were talking about them, that they have, how Jamie is. He's got like 50 cars he's working on. And
oh, yeah.
I don't know what they all are. I can't keep track of them. What happened to that?
This
It melted.
I pulled this one out of, I guess something.
Yeah, something got hot there. What was the puppet's name? Lamb Chop. Yep, Sherry Lewis. Mike N said it, but he said it a minute after I said it. But yeah, you're right. So Mike N maybe gets Mike N and Lester LeSabre might get a point for that.
All right, give him points.
Kim gives the points out.
No, I give you power to give points. But actually, you're giving away your points.
I'm giving away my points. I'm already up to -50 because of the bitch session I had when I walked in.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, I walked in. It's like, how can I undo this in a hurry? And I'm looking at it and going, I can't undo this in a hurry.
Cannot undo this. Hey, but I got through it.
Well, here, yeah.
What?
Mexican Spec is here.
Who is?
Mexican Spec. He said he wasn't going to be here because he had to go burn stuff. And I said, sounds like a good video. And he said he wasn't going to video it because he's going to be busy sticking the sticks in the burn pile. But I think I think burning stuff makes good videos.
Did he give up on the burning, or did he?
I don't. He said he just stopped by to say about it.
Okay. Well, hi, man.
Minus 50 for not filming that. Tim's over here breaking up some sticks that we're going to use for kindling. Mexican Spec burns the stuff to get rid of it. We burn it to start a fire.
You're warm. Oh, I'm sorry for stabbing you there. I'm gonna stick this outside and put the lid on.
Buddy Carfano says I can have 10 of his points to get me back up to 0.
Where's my lid for this? Didn't we have lids?
See, now you can see Kim actually go outside.
Yeah. Didn't we have lids to the fire bins?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go outside and look.
You're going to go outside and look around.
I got a friend that did. It's cold out there.
Well, Tim, you haven't seen Mexican Spec? Yeah, I guess it's been a couple of times since he's been here.
Welcome to the stream, Mexican Spec. Thanks for stopping in.
He was out running around with cars and doing business, you know. He's a car guy that does car business and can't be in the chat always because he has some work to do, which is a good thing. Yeah, I feel really lost over on this end of the shop. How cold is it where? Here? It is 50 degrees. But in the shop, see the wood stove is right there. So it is really warm right here. Kim told me she was afraid I was going to get sick again over there in that corner of the shop where it's colder. And so I was still in the house and she moved it all over here. Yeah, now that's right. Now I have to move the Studebaker front end. No, I'm going to move back. So the Studebaker front end is, what is that, a lightsaber? Look at it vibrate. It pulsates at a different rate than the camera. You notice that, Kim?
Yeah. That's why I was doing that, because it looks cool.
No, you know what? We got another camera over there.
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you what we got over there. We got this over there. See, I can double screen this, but I could take that camera and turn it over to the Studebaker. But then my switch is over there and the wires, see, that's hardwired over there. So I don't know. So I saw Mexican Spec over to UTG. Yep, I saw him over there too.
Oh, I saw him earlier too. Yeah.
Yeah, burning stuff satisfies the inner pyromaniac in some of us.
I think that fire is hard coded into the human psyche after the, you know, how long has humans been able to harness fire?
I had a friend years ago, and we used to tell everybody we were the last of the pyrosexuals.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I don't know. Use your imagination.
That sounds
what,
like
pyrosexuals? You can't say that?
So what you're saying is it burns when you pee, or?
I don't know. You just have to use your imagination, try to figure out what that would refer to. Oh, we had people laughing about that. Here, you don't hear people laughing. You just like hope something comes up on the screen that isn't too bad. You watch the chat clear out. Oh, you know what? There's something else missing. Kim.
Yeah, but
I don't have my counter.
Your counter?
There's the thing that always told me how many people are in the chat. It's missing.
How many people are in?
There was a thing over here that.
Yeah, you're right. That would be a studio. It's a dock. I will restore that dock.
Okay. Not that we don't get enough deadfall branches around here, but every year we like to get a bag of that dried white birch from in front of Lowe's. Really? KJ Kylie is getting kind of racy here.
Racy? I don't think saying pyrosexual is racy.
Racy is more like putting a cam in the slant 6.
Yeah, we're gonna put a cam in the slant 6. Let's assume, is there anybody who's not up to speed with how the slant 6 project is going? I will show you the slant 6.
Yeah, I was showing him that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, okay. But I told him I was going to go there and swing the camera onto the Studebaker, so if we get super chats, I won't have to run across. Well, I still have to run across the room. Yeah, that thing. That's the window I wanted to see. But then if I can't touch I guess I just can't touch the chat unless I don't know. Yeah, if you put it up there, I guess I can bring it back somehow. At least it's there. Yeah, because what if I touch the chat, it'll go underneath. But just leave it there. I won't touch the chat. I'll just talk to the chat.
Okay.
But then if I put something, I'll have to rely on our mod to put anything in the chat we want in the chat.
The good news is you guys are over here while I have company while I work on getting things tidy up.
Yeah, and the thing I liked over there is I was over there where Kim was working on the dart, and it all kind of felt like we were together. And if she needed help, I'd just jump up. Like the day we were putting the engine in, I just jumped up and helped her with it. And now I feel like I'm over here alone. But she said she was gonna work on something over here tonight, so that'll work out okay. And she's tidying up some.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna make it so you can get to all the things, and then when we go back there, I'll clear a path and we'll have more gooderness overall. The end result will be gooderness.
But Carfana says, forget the cam, put a V8 in the dart. Nope, we're going to do the cam. Are you pulling the motor back out? Yes, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Because to pull the cam out of that, you still have to get underneath to get the oil pump and the pan, and then it's just you got to lift the engine up, and then to get the cam out, the bumper's in the way, and Kim was talking about cutting the part of the core support out. It's like, let's just, all the bolts are clean. Let's just pull the engine out.
And Professor P told me that we need springs for the cam to work.
We'll probably pull the head back off.
Yep, so we can do springs.
Yeah, Buddy Carfano says I'm over here in a penalty box. You put me in the penalty box.
Why? What did I do?
I don't know.
You are.
So, to get back to the cam swap, the new cam's going to require different valve springs. And then what did Professor P say? They're
25% more,
or 20%,
something like
20% stronger springs. So it's not a lot, but we'll probably pull the head off and do that. So
this is a sort of failed sticky thing. Remember that went?
Oh, that looks like something to get thrown in the fire outdoors. Let's see here.
Can it be trash?
Sarah Canadian Diesel is in. He says, hope you both had an awesome Christmas.
Yeah, we did.
Any New Year's resolutions? Well, the first thing we're going to do for New Year's is New Year's Eve, we're going to do a live from the studio, because that's a Tuesday night, which is normal. Yeah, Mike Genn says, don't cut the core support. That's what I say. And Kim didn't seem to care about that. But I talked to her into just pulling the engine out. All the bolts are, nothing's greasy. It's all clean, nice bolts.
Yeah.
Put in there. So we're just gonna pull the engine out.
Everything will come apart freely. We already know we're not gonna break any bolts because it's all been.
And Cope is here.
Right. Who is?
And John Cope is here.
Welcome to the stream, John Cope.
And
John Cope Racing Transmissions.
That's right. And Crash's Roadrunner Garage just pulled in. See, now we pull in. And for those of you that don't know, Kim moved me the other end of the shop, and I don't know how long this is going to last, but I'm here for tonight. And she's over here. She said she's going to do some work over in this area. So for right now, we're talking about, I still have this camera over there. We're talking about that project. And
the cam sucked.
The cam sucked.
It doesn't spin lifters, so we got to pull it out. It was a used cam and lifter set, and we did our best, but it just no fly. So we ran it for 5 minutes. It was just warm enough that half the lifters are spinning lovely, and the other ones would not. So
the engine's coming out again. We'll pop the head off of it. We'll change the springs. What else do we want to do to the head? I guess just change the springs.
Springs.
And then it'll be easy to get at the lifters.
Yeah.
We'll pull the lifters out. Professor P's doing a custom grind for us.
Yeah.
So we'll have a really good.
Notch.
So we'll have a
cutting edge.
A really good cam that is meant for this. He also gave Kim a Super 6 manifold, a 2-barrel manifold. While we were at No Name Nationals, he goes, "Here, you can have it as long as you do something cool with it." So we'll put the 2-barrel cam or 2-barrel manifold and carburetor on the slant with a custom ground camshaft, and
I gotta make a linkage for that, but I already made a linkage for the transmission, so it's cool.
It'll be an even better arrangement.
It'll be more than we had planned to do, but fantastic all the same.
Colt Bassler, I don't know, he didn't really ask, he just said, Buff Channel is going live 24/7. Well, I told Kim I wanted to do a 24-hour on New Year's Eve. I wanted to start at the international date line when it became January 1st there, and just go all the way around until we're back at the international date line. And she quickly said, no.
Hard work.
So that settles that. So we'll do a New Year's Eve live Tuesday night. Brenda's here. She says factory fresh cam swap. Yep.
Yeah, with a very, very custom ground from a pro.
And Tim says refresh that 318 and swap it out. No. The 318 will go in something else. The 318 or the 360, one or the other, will probably, I'm guessing it's going to go into the, what is that little truck called? The Dakota. And Kim just could build a, what do they call it? Triple Crown car? I don't know.
Yeah,
we've talked about it. We've talked about it, but that is a hell of a lot to do this year because we have other projects too. And I have at least one project I want to get in here that we're already behind on. Actually, I have 2 projects I want to get in here. One's kind of a light project. I want to get my car in here and get a heater put in it so I can start driving it. And then the aluminum car, I kind of want to do that. I don't know. We were going to do one of my cars. So, and then we'll probably do more of Kim's stuff. I don't know. I'm missing some chat here. Dean Stevenson's in. All says, I did want the Super 6 stuff for my Duster before I blew that slant and found donor car with a 318 and a 4-speed. Okay. Sarah says, well, I hope I get my new passport before No Name so I can come down. Oh, passport. So I can come down and see the beast you're making in person. Oh, that'd be cool. It'd be really cool if you come down. Yeah, you got to get a passport. I mean, in Canada, can you get the card? Here we can get a card that's a pretty easy thing and it's cheaper. And it's good for all of North America and the Caribbean islands. We have that in the U.S. I don't know if you have that in Canada.
Well, if Trump has his way, you'll just be a state, and then there won't be a border.
Yeah, make it a state.
I think it's absurd, and I'm not really.
Well, I think the whole thing was a joke.
Man, I can't even say stuff because now I started.
Yeah. We start a whole. Well, it's a joke. Paul, Judy says you can always watch the Stooges New Year's Eve. Dean Stevenson, because with you here, it won't be weird, huh? Dean's given Olive a whole bunch of little things. Sergey, whoop whoop, Brenda, how is it weird? I'm not here, Dean. Everybody's talking to Dean. Sarah, can we can get a card, but it's just as pain but as a passport. Yeah, the only thing with the card here is it's less money. If you're only going to travel, if you're in the U.S., you're only going to travel the Caribbean islands or Mexico and Canada, the card is cheap, and the passport is much more expensive. And I have a passport because I already had a passport and I just kept renewing the thing and I paid the extra money. But I've been to Europe a few times and that card isn't going to work. Let's see, Canada has already armed our tactical geese for the invasion. Okay.
Tactical what?
Geese.
Tactical moose.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna expect geese are gonna defend the country, and it's gonna be moose. Yeah, they have mooses and we have mices. Yeah, get yourself a passport, Sarah. Be good to see you down there. Oh, says I'm guessing he's recommending Martians based on my name, which I should do because housemate got some vermouth and I don't actually have enough. Oh, martinis. Oh, I thought it said Martians. Martinis based on my name. GB just need Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles to tell Trump to try it. Canadian geese are not drones. Man, you know, there years ago there were Canadian geese that were I don't remember what happened. They somehow lost their way with the way they were migrating, and there was some guy with an ultralight out of Canada, and he retrained the geese with the ultralight to uh, to fly wherever they migrated every year. I don't know if anybody remembers that. That was about 15 years ago. Again, our bald eagles make quick work of the geese. Tim, what are you doing? You're not on the
I'm sorry, guys.
KJK.
Doing some work.
KJ Kylie. Canadian geese come down here and wrap everywhere.
Oh yeah, they do.
Dean
well, that's
Stevens,
the invasion.
Dean Stevenson says this. He's something. He's militarized drones or something. Oh, that guy does it every year. Actually, he's still doing it. Because I remember that was a big deal. Because I was flying ultralights around, and that guy did that. It was really cool. Yeah, the guy with the ultralight led them home. Okay, yeah. Okay, so you guys remember that. The geese are the Canadian Air Force. Well, actually, the Canadian Air Force has some pretty cool airplanes. I knew a guy, there was a guy that bought an airplane from us when I was in the airplane business, and he was a former Canadian Air Force physician. And he used to get rides in the fighters. And he had a lot of good stories about that. So I guess if you're a Canadian Air Force physician, you know, what do they call that? A flight surgeon? You get to ride in the fighters sometimes. Nice. Grand Pedo Vic. Hey, I noticed you were live, but I had way too much going. And I almost clicked on it, but I was trying to get a shower and get up here to the shop. So I didn't go on your live, man. Sorry. But I saw you there.
Congratulations on getting a live out. It's tough.
Yeah, I saw. Difficult. Yeah, it's good. You got a live going. Yeah. It's just it was. Pied Ultralight Piper. Kinda says that.
What's Isoflex Topaz NB50? What is that?
Ooh, can you get me a paper towel or something? Because if I open that, I'm gonna get goop all over me. Did you read about the Korean? Oh man. You know, I'm not gonna say anybody panicked and didn't drop the gear. What I'm gonna say is we don't know what happened yet. They had their hands full, obviously. Oh, it says here, 58 seconds. The ads will run. So in a little less than a minute, I'll shut up for a minute and let them run. But that crew declared emergency right away and did a go around, but then came around and landed on the opposite runway. And I think they had more going. And until we hear what the cockpit voice recorder is and all that, hopefully that'll all become public. We will. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions on there. If you want to hear what's going on that, the best thing out there is Blanco Lirio. There's a channel called Blanco Lirio, and that is that's Juan Brown. Juan Brown former Air Force pilot, former firefighting pilot, current 777 pilot, and the guy really knows his stuff. And he comments on this stuff right away, but he won't jump the gun and say exactly what happened. But he did a pretty good video that raised some possibilities. But and the really sad thing is, oh, Mike N says I'm sub to Juan's channel. Yeah, good. Juan Brown is Blanco Lirio. That's yeah. Juan Brown is awesome. You're right. I can't get this open. I'm trying to open this, whatever this goof is.
Is it stuck? Do you know what it is?
I'm thinking it's Kano Klubler or something.
I'm sorry, I'm not in front of the camera, guys.
I don't know. I cannot get this open.
Here,
well, you see, there's supposed to be a thing that pushes that out.
Right, you pull that open. It's some kind of like axle grease or something.
I know. I don't want to get it all over me because it's probably. Oh yeah, see, it's sealed. Okay, just close it up. It's
opened anyways. See, it's gooping out of there.
Okay, well you can. There's a handle to pull that.
Oh, it's like a white lithium grease.
Oh, let's. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, now it's white. I'll stick my finger in there because I won't get like anti-seize all over my fingers. That's what I was afraid is I'd get like anti-seize all over me.
Here's some wipes. You can use those to wipe your hands. Use them up.
Oh, this smells good. No, actually, it really doesn't have any smell. I'm going to put it up. See what's in there? Monitor wipes.
You can use this to wipe your hands.
Tim, what is this stuff? I don't know what this is. Okay. Somebody can look this up. Somebody can Google this while I'm okay. Somebody tell me what this stuff is. It's Isoflex. I don't know what this crap is. Is it a lubricant or is it a? Oh, it says lubrication. I don't know. It's written in some other language. Probably didn't find the English part. I think it was the part I could see was. I don't know where I got that. I don't know anything about it, but it's brand new, and we got it. It's brand new, and we have some.
Wow. Looks like lithium.
It looks like lithium grease, but it doesn't feel like lithium grease. I don't know. Maybe I'll set it here. Yep, I got to set it up higher. I want to set it up so somebody can. I don't want to just hold it here. I want somebody to.
Somebody look it up. We'll give you points.
Do not touch this unless you are Zober the Greek and have medical insurance. Oh, Mexican spec's taken off. Adios. Adios, senor.
Thank you, Mexican spec. We'll see you soon.
Hit grease. Then it hit off the old oxy tank. Never underestimate the importance of proper lubrication. I'm sorry, I couldn't read it. Wrong eyeglasses. That was all. Take that. Sayer says it's a high-speed spindle grease, more for milling machines and lathes. Oh. And he said it twice.
All right. Did you award points?
Are you looking for more points by saying it twice? Sarah, man, I'm getting cold now. Kim, what's going on over here? Maybe we can take this thing away.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm getting cold.
Well, it might be running out of wood.
Oh, this thing's not working. Oh, as soon as you put the heat shield to it. Yeah.
I'm going to cut the water.
You know what happened? I started handling something cold. Mm-hmm. So it's some kind of a lube for milling machines and lathes. High-speed spindle. So what could we use it for? Oh, it says Isoflex Topus, some 4-digit number starting with 5. It's a commercial Astroglide for machines. Sayer says for point. What are pints? No, points. Kim awards people points when they get answers right, or they help me because I'm a dummy and I can't remember somebody's name or something. And
you guys have got a chainsaw for a second.
Kim's chainsaw. I don't. All it says draft under the door. Yeah, I got the wood stove right here and a draft right behind me.
I'm kind of hoping I
Kim's
find.
over there with an electric chainsaw cutting wood to put in the stove.
I'm done. Sorry. I'm kind of hoping I find the weather stripping while I'm working, so I can put the weather stripping back in the door.
But he says use it to keep drill bits cold. I was thinking I can use it for some kind of assembly on something. I don't know, something non-critical. Open the stove door. Let some of that draft. Oh, Kim just opened the door. Yeah, well then, yeah, you got to open up the flue up here. Well, I could turn the I don't know if I want to mess with that camera.
Go ahead.
Well, because then I'll have a hard time getting it back to where it is because I have a hard time reaching. I don't know. Maybe I can do that. Nobody ever watches this, so maybe I will move the camera around. Do we have enough cord? Do we have enough cord? Nope. I just ran out of cord.
I can bring the cord closer to you.
The cord is, we got a short cord.
It's a webcam. What do you want?
Oh, you got to move the whole computer. Okay,
I
Kim.
got the other camera.
There's the. Yeah, but it's in the wrong. We got all kind of position problems because we moved. Oh, see, there's the dart over there, and here's the wood stove. She moved me over here because she thought I was too cold. Okay, Kim, we got it.
You got it?
Okay.
Cut one more log. Sorry.
Yes, machining use. Hit that fire with a leaf blower. Oh, that fire will. It's actually going pretty good. I know she's just adding a couple of pieces of wood.
Chop this one.
Oh, Jesus. You're going to do that right now? So, as usual, I'm sitting here. We're going to watch Kim work. Are you going to split that with the wedge?
Yeah, I think I am.
Oh, I don't know if that's going to split.
Oh, it'll split.
It might. I mean, that's a pretty solid piece of thing.
It's open. Just put the rake with it. Okay.
So everybody's watching Kim work. This is what oh, Kim, what is that weird smell?
What's this old wood?
Is it?
This wood's old. Rotted. It's yucky.
A cord of wood. You know, out in the yard, we don't have a cord of wood. We have a whole, some kind of oak tree out there all cut up.
Oh, that's a big oak tree. This is... Okay.
I was doing that the other night. See, nobody sees me do this. I was up here splitting wood with that wedge, and I got the wedge caught down in one of them, and I took the second wedge and put it in next to it and split to get the first wedge out.
That's why you want to have two wedges.
Kim had a lot of energy tonight. Yeah, she slept all day.
Hey!
Well, you know what? She stays up all night editing videos, and then she slept all day. And I got up and did some things, but I was kind of lazy all day.
I just been sleeping all day because I have winter depression.
Sayer says convert it to an oil burner. No way. We have so much free wood,
yeah,
and it works so well.
I mean, an oil burner is good, but we don't need it. We got this. This works.
So, yeah, I'm holding this, just sort of hand holding this, and I'm shaky a little bit.
I think this is going to get warm pretty quick. So.
Oh, I bet it is. Yeah, you close it up and yeah, just open those little vents a little bit. Yeah, just do that, and it'll turn in like a jet engine in there, and then close them down.
It's going to take a little while because some of that wood is a little bit damp. But... It'll be okay.
So
You could probably set the camera back up a decent.
I can set the camera back
Yeah,
up.
they don't need to see.
I'm gonna point the camera around it. That's where I usually used to sit, was over there. You can see the old monitor hanging there, the old monitor, the good monitor hanging there with some tape on it, where I usually read the chat. And there's everything, but now we're over here. Oop, gotta reach over here.
I'm sorry, guys. I made a mess. Made a big mess.
Changed everything around. Brenda says we need a log splitting. Get it out yet? Log splitting attachment for the case. Did they make a log splitting attachment for that? I don't know. Probably make all kinds of attachments.
You know what? The case does not currently have any kind of auxiliary hydraulic system, so there's no way currently to add a log split to run a log splitter off of the hydraulics. I mean, I guess I could figure something out, but
oh, we got stuff out there. I don't think we're going to be able to split. We're going to have to cut it. We have stuff that's probably 4 feet in diameter. Tree trunks, chunks of tree trunks. Up the street, a little ways, there's a woman up there, had a couple of big oak trees that were enormous, but they were starting to, they got big, and oak trees start to break and they're going to fall on the house and everything. She had a crew come up there and cut those 2 trees down, and one of them had some rot in it or something. But anyway, we went up there, and they were real happy to give us the wood. So we spent most of the day with Kim's truck up there and the skid loader up there, and their trailer, the people that cut the wood, their trailer, and they brought all that wood down here and put it in our yard. And man, it was yeah, that's enough probably to heat this place all the way next year.
we need a jackhammer with a splitting wedge on the end.
Steven says EDM log splitter. Do they make such a thing? EDM's, you know what EDM is? It's like a wire thing that cuts them out.
Like the thing we use to cut the foam?
It's different. I don't know exactly how EDM works. I know it'll cut like sheet metal, like perfect stuff. I don't. You can look it up.
Blasting caps.
What?
Oh, that would be fun. Just core drill it and boom. Oh, that would be really good. You know what? And you wrap a chain around it, so when it blows up, it just that would be cool. Where are we going to get explosives? You know how to make explosives? I guess we could find out on the internet. That's a good way to get yourself on a watch
I don't
list.
want to have any explosives around. I mean, there's things around you could explode. I mean, you put gasoline in a small enough container, but we try not to do that.
Gasoline isn't really.
I don't know. I used to weld on gas tanks, and I used to worry about stuff like that, but never had a problem.
And gasoline has to be in the right mixture with oxygen to burn really explosively.
Nitroglycerin.
Where are we going to get nitroglycerin?
Any drugstore. You take that if you get a heart attack. Nitroglycerin tablets.
No. I guess you could just get some shotgun shells and pour the black powder.
No, let's not talk about this stuff.
Oh, you're right. Guys, I don't think we're allowed to talk about it. Honestly,
we've said enough. But I mean, if somebody wants to explode something, I'm sure they can figure out how to do it. But if we have an explosion here because of something accidental, and we try to prevent that, it's like paint cans around torches and shit. You keep those things way far apart.
Yeah. Don't explode things. It's bad. Man.
I'm drinking my red fluid, whatever this is. It is, yeah, I'm shaking it.
I'm cold. You feeling that heat, son?
This side of me is really warm, and this side is, we got this, see that door behind us not insulated. That's not helping us any. Just use pieces like that for stool or chopping block. Oh, we've got a big chunk. We got
nice...
2 big chunks. We got a big tree trunk like thing over there that has an anvil attached that's on it. It's the base for the anvil. And then we've got another one we use. So we're going to carve it out a little bit concave so we can hammer metal in and use it as a forming tool. But right now it's just over there. Anyone know where I can get some yellow cake uranium?
No, no, we're not allowed to talk about.
You can
Stop
go
it,
online.
Mike.
You can go online and look for this.
Stop it! Get us in trouble. Demonetized. Nah, it's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
Dean says Canadian Club or Canadian Cub. I thought you said Canadian Club. Kim's over there organizing paint cans.
Yeah.
Dean Stevenson, don't eat the yellow cake.
Jeez.
What color was that cake I bought you for your birthday? Kim, what was that? Chocolate. It had chocolate frosting on it.
It had chocolate frosting.
And don't ever put your cell phone on the fireplace. Light the fire and then forget to remove the phone before it gets hot. Yeah, because it'll spread out and get flatter.
You're absolutely right. That will be
and then until it gets the battery, and then it might get bigger.
Choice on your phone.
Yeah, it'll slowly melt, and then it'll slowly get real big, or get real big in a hurry. A friend of mine, he used to tell me he had an orange tree, and he didn't like oranges, and he had like hundreds of oranges. And I'd be out there picking them all the time, taking them home. And I said, man, some of these oranges are green. I said, I got to wait till they turn orange. And he goes, yeah, well, oranges are kind of funny. He goes, they're green, then they turn orange, and then they turn green again. You're holding on to them too long, man. Thayer says you have a shop press, right? Yep.
We do. It's an excellent tool to have around. Everyone should have a shop press.
If you have a bottle jack and a chain, you can split any round that way up to 20-ton jack will work. Yeah, we do. That's what we have on our press is a 20-ton press, and I wish I had a bigger press, but I don't. You know, if I had like 80, 100-ton press, maybe a little more, I could form sheet metal. Ooh, I'd like to do, because we used to form sheet metal ribs, and we could barely do it with an 80-ton press. We really needed more. A 200-ton press worked really well, but we had to take it somewhere to do that. But we were pressing 20 thousandths 2024 T3 aluminum sheet metal, which is pretty hard stuff. Wedge in your big pieces when it's below zero outside, pour water in it. It will freeze, bust open overnight by itself. Never thought about that.
You know what? That's a good idea. It's still a lot of drilling, because for you to get enough pressure to split one of the big rounds, you'd have to drill a pretty big hole.
Oh yeah, and Sayer says you take the bottle jack, weld a wedge on it, then chain, hold the jack on the piece, and then jack the jack.
Yeah, that sounds like an excellent plan.
I just saw somebody do something like that with a chain. What the hell were they doing? Oh, I know what they did. They did something like that to get a tire off a rim, to break the bead loose. They put a chain around it with a jack. Kim, that doesn't look good. Oh, I see you. She's putting bicycle tires up on somewhere. It looks like they're gonna fall on her. I'm gonna put the camera on you.
Don't do it.
Sarah said I can send you a diagram. Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
Nothing to see here.
Dean Stevens at 60-ton jack screw presses are great for 60 millimeter deformed D60 cement Rio reinforcement. Torque to yield. We used it for the Clyde hydroelectric dam quality assurance. All you need is a crack for the water. Yeah, if it gets cold enough, it'll freeze and they'll expand. It'll expand, just like what it does for the roads up north. That's why there's chuck holes
Oh,
everywhere.
the roads are terrible.
Yeah, you said Pittsburgh was really bad. Well, when I lived in Sharon, Pennsylvania, they called everybody in Sharon said it was the pothole capital of the world. Man, every winter they just
So the problem isn't
the roads just break apart.
it isn't the freezing per se. It's the freeze thaw cycles.
Well, you
See, if
get water
everything just
underneath there, and then it
right, if
expands.
everything just freezes over, you're good. In the spring, it melts. You're fine. The problem is it rains water, freezes, which causes it to heave, and then it thaws.
And then you
It goes
drive
back
over it and
down.
breaks.
Well, then when it heaves, it forms cracks, but then it thaws. So the water runs in and it sits down. Now it's sitting on a big puddle of mud underneath the road base. So a lot of those old roads, they weren't built to like stand highway standards. Somebody just pushed the dirt off and threw asphalt on them. So they're just on mud. They're old cow paths. That's why the roads are so windy in the hills around up there.
My Ken, Louisiana, Mississippi have hot weather and shitty roads.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Good
Well,
times.
Tennessee really has pretty good roads. I mean,
Yeah, it's good up there.
I'm amazed at Tennessee really because our taxes are fairly low, and yet the roads are in good shape. They really keep that stuff up pretty good.
Sure. All right. What else are we going to talk about?
I don't know. Over there, she's cleaning.
Cleaning. I'm a cleaning fool.
In the car, the Roman
Hey,
roads
check
don't
this
care.
out.
Well, what is that?
That now is that a claim that we can
Oh, you see what that
endorse?
is?
I don't
Well,
think we can.
oh, I moved stuff. So this is visible glass. It makes glass invisible.
Is that possible? Glass is
Oh,
transparent.
that stuff,
Can you make
that
it?
is cold.
Is it?
Why is that so cold? Oh, man.
I mean, I can understand you make it transparent, but invisible? Can you make is glass invisible?
Somewhat. Also, somewhere like Pittsburgh, they usually just got to fix them fast every year rather than redo every. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, they just patch them over, and
I mean, that just breaks again. Yeah.
they do pick roads to redo completely every year, and they rip them all the way down to fair. Good.
Mike N says, good stuff. I guess that's the invisible glass. I don't know. Sayre says, do you know who Wiley E. Coyote is? He was a big supporter of Acme Supplies. My friend out there in Arizona, Carl, who's got killed in a stupid car accident, he had all his Chrysler products, and he used to take Wiley Coyote, big stuffed animal, used to ride with him to the car shows, and always sat in his Roadrunner. Does the Tennessee sales tax pay for roads? Yeah, the sales tax is fairly high in Tennessee, but we don't have any state income tax, and our property taxes are fairly low compared to a lot of states, such as California. And yeah, so I don't feel like I'm being taxed to death here. Yeah, but I think look where Tennessee's located. We've got interstate highways running both directions through the state, so I think a lot of out-of-state people are paying some of our sales taxes as they cruise through the state. So, um, yeah, I mean, what I like is there's no state income tax. Man, I was up in Maryland. I was an out-of-state worker up there, so I had to pay Maryland state income tax. And then there was a county income tax that was 7%. Youch! The stupid county had a 7% income tax for out-of-state workers. I had to pay that. So Maryland was not friendly as far as I was concerned. And I don't know, their roads are okay. Yeah, I was pretty happy to get back here. And then Arizona, our state income tax, our uh, state income tax was I think like 4.5%, something like that. And then when I was over in California, it was like 10.9% plus $2,300 a year. It is insane. Yes, we do have sales tax on food, and there are people that we're South Clarksville. There are people up on the north side of Clarksville that Clarksville's right on the Kentucky state line, and there are people that run over into Kentucky to buy food. Oh, look what she's pulling up. What is all this?
This is some electronics stuff, but check out there's stuff. I bet you there's.
Yeah, whatever that is, I want to look in this.
Yeah, that's why I brought it over. There's a map.
I can't pick this up. Yeah, what is that map?
I don't know. Looks official. It says something. It's got a big X. It says "dig here, caution."
Oh, so they say Northeast is all tax, but no tax on food, lots of things down here. Yeah, California's like that. The tax in California is really high, but there's no tax on food that's not prepared. So if you're in a grocery store and you buy food, it doesn't have tax in it unless it's like, they have those chickens that are already cooked or cooked food, prepared food, and then there's tax on that. So California is pretty good in that way. But then, like in Ohio, we had a tax on food in Ohio. Oh, look at this. That's pretty funny. A bunch of floppy disks. Oh, I want to know what's on those floppy disks. I bet I won't be able to figure it out. Oh, this is stuff from South Bank. What the hell is this? Oh, does this look like something? This is something we were working on at one time. That's somebody. I took some dimensions for something. Oh, here's a model of something. Oh, this is cool. This came from where I worked. We got to have that on display. Now that's a drone. Oh, here's my auto repair. These are some of the stuff I worked on in Ohio. This is how cheap I worked. This was in 01. I charged somebody. This is what I did. It was a 98 Ford truck. Retrieved OBD2 codes. Code P0301, number 1 cylinder misfire. Spark plug wires okay. Replace spark plugs. Reset codes. Run engine. No new codes. Okay. And I charged him $45.50 labor and $11.94 for parts and some tax, and it was $60 total. That's the way I used to work, and I didn't charge enough, obviously. What's this one? Here's one. Oh, man. Here's somebody. I charged them $224 to replace a bunch of wheel bearings and seals. New pads, lube slides, clean slides, add brake fluid. What else did I have on here? Oh, a spring kit for the rear. Oh, spring kit for the rear brakes. Man, I did all that for $224. What was the date on that? That was in 01. What, I got all these old receipts, man. Here's one I replaced some left and right CV shafts on an 88 Cutlass Sierra. Charge them $310.56. $155 labor. Oh, and I installed a heater core for that. Oh my God. Really? Charge them $85 to install a heater core. This is why I'm poor.
You're a cheat.
Here's an 88 Cadillac.
I could have charged him $1 less and done that same work.
Oh, this is a rust job. Install power steering pump. Replace fuel lines. Replace brake lines. Unlock passenger door, which I didn't charge him for. Whole bunch of pieces and parts. That's $334. Wow. Oh, I'm not reading this. Is that an Air Force? Oh, TD. Somebody new here. TD, welcome to the chat. Yes, it's an Air Force hat. Way after I was in the Air Force, but I bought it somewhere. But this Air Force logo was not being used when I was in the Air Force. I was in the Air Force in, oh God, it's a long time ago. Man, 1973, January of 73 through December of 82. Just a couple of weeks short of 10 years. Man, I can't believe this. I got all these repair things in here, Kim. Just like all these things from when I was in. This is all stuff from when I was in business in Ohio, like over 20 years ago. Oh, here's a fly-in I went to. Pancake breakfast and fly-in somewhere in Marion, Indiana.
Oh, I opened the Wayback Machine. Now he's out of it. Are you looking at any of the chat?
I'm sort of looking at it. Oh, here's some drawings I did. What is this thing? Oh, here's something I was designing. That's an airplane I did that ended up being a concept vehicle. And they only built one, or we only built one. Flew it around some, but they decided not to. They weren't getting any orders on it. Yeah, here it is. The guy sitting in there, that's Ralph. I had a CAD drawing of a guy named Ralph, and I used to be able to bend him around all different ways and recline and everything, so he'd fit in different airplanes. Okay. Got more pictures of Ralph. I gotta put this away. Oh man, is this a dealer list? There's a guy I'm trying to get a hold of in South Africa, and I can't get a hold of him. Actually, two guys in South Africa, and I can't get a hold of them. I don't know what happened to them. Okay, enough of that. Back to the chat. I'm sorry, people. TD. Oh, B&R Racing. Hey, Kim. Yeah, I got to get back to the chat. Sorry, people. Ford Explorer disc brake caliper has a tool for popping the piston back in. I have a DOS virtual machine to use old DOS programs that I love. You know, I have an old sitting at my desk in my room on the floor, kind of where I put my feet. I have a Windows 3.1 machine that, of course, runs on top of DOS. So I can, it's just that's what I run. I run my CAD that I've had for years. I run off straight off DOS, and I know it's 2D, and I know all the keystrokes. So I'm really fast at it. So I can do things. Let's see here. TD, I live 5 miles from Offutt in Bellevue, Nebraska. Ah, cool. That's why you're asking about the Air Force. Were you in the Air Force? I got a cough drop. My throat's starting to get dry. Let's see here. Dean Stevenson, or lithium or glycerin. Yeah, Brenda, invoices of financial regret. Yeah, those are over 20 years old, so the prices seem kind of low. Elijah, welcome to the chat. Happy long. The object is not to put any force on the pinch area of the piston. Pistons shouldn't be in contact with the surface and should be free floating to avoid damage. I'm not sure what we're talking about there. Log, I use materials softer than the object. You're pressing like brass on steel, wood on aluminum. Okay, let's see here. Oh, here's all of the late adopter, though. Once my ISB called for a customer survey, they were like, did you know you're our only Unix shell account in Western Massachusetts? Uh-oh, I've got something on top of your chat because you got a long chat there. I got to move that window. You might want to upgrade. Yeah, Mike in F-disk. I have an Abacus. Does that count? Man, when I was in Russia, of course that's a while ago, but that was, I don't know, 1997. They were still using Abacus. That's how they figured when you went to the store and bought something, they used Abacus. That wasn't long after the Soviet Union when I was there. Everything still sort of looked like the Soviet Union. Man, I look at Russia now in pictures, and it's complete turnaround. The idea of 10 MT starter motor barrel housing cut in half allows full contact circumference load spread so aluminum doesn't distort. Elijah Buff, I was asking about where to find a jig, press piston pins out without damage. Oh, stand by. I'm going to walk away, but I'm walking right back. Just wait. Wait. Kim, I'm still online, but I'm going to get a tool, but I need a piston. I need a 6 piston. You might have one.
I do have one. It's in a box, and I know exactly where it is.
Okay, I'm headed back, everybody. Don't panic. Man, my throat's got some kind of coughing business going on. This thing right here, the piston slides over this so it supports the piston correctly, so you can press. Oh, I thought Kim was bringing a piston, but she brought something else. Oh, she's got it somewhere else.
It's kind of dirty.
It's kind of dirty.
It's almost like it's a piston. Some junk. We made this. This is the first video you ever made, isn't it?
My very first video is using this tool.
And the reason we made it is because we ruined a piston.
So what you want to do is you want to support the connecting rod up in there. So you I need like something higher, like a box or something to set shit on. Yeah, that'll work. We can flip that over and that'll work. That's perfect.
Just a tiny bit of moisture.
Moisture.
It's moist, people.
Okay. So you put this tool, man, that's not tall enough. That's not tall enough.
Okay. What about a box?
Yeah, like something like about 2 inches taller than that. Yeah, that'll work. I'll move my keyboard out of the way. So here we're going to do a demonstration.
Do we got patient people in the chat?
Right, Joe. That's it, Buff. Where do I get one? Well, here's the thing. There was a machine shop I saw using one of those things, so I went to buy one. And you know what? The nearest one I could find was in the UK. So I thought, I'm going to have to pay shipping. So I got a hold of them. They didn't have them anymore. So I designed and built one.
How much is one worth?
I don't know what they're worth. So you put this thing in here like this. You got to be smarter than the tool. Why am I struggling with this? Kim, I'm really struggling with this. Okay, can I make this fit? You sure this is a slant 6 piston?
I took it out of the slant 6. So maybe the
For some reason, it's being an a-hole.
It's a different piston.
It's a piston's different. So anyway, the rod is supported by this thing, and then you push on the pin, and it just slides right out. It does a really good job. And you go back to my videos, the Buffdale Campo videos, and you go back to the first video I did, shows that tool right after I made it, and shows you how to use it. But what you have to do is you have to figure out, you have to get some steel, and I think it's mostly, I don't know, I explained it on there. I had some sheets of chromoly, 4130 steel that were like 8. Doesn't quite fit in there.
No, you know what? This is a different piston design.
That's not the same piston. Yeah, it's a different piston than the other ones. So where's the other pistons we
I'll
have?
get you another one.
What's this?
Those are flat 6 pistons, though.
This is
I knew you'd like to see that.
This is a layup I did. It's a demonstration carbon fiber layup that I did. Okay, so I don't know where the rest of that. See, there's more to that demonstration in that piece. Yeah, Kim's finding all kinds of cool crap that I got around here. Yeah, see what happened was we had 6 new pistons for a slant 6, and we heated the rods to stick the pins in. But one of them didn't get quite hot enough or something. The pin didn't get in far enough, so we had to get the pin back out. Well, you can't heat it inside the piston.
Well,
you might be able to, but probably you can't. So we pressed it out while we distorted the piston. So I bought 1 new piston, and I pressed it. Well, this one doesn't have a rod in it, so you can't demonstrate it.
Well, sorry.
So this thing goes in there. You support the rod on this thing, and you press it out. Yeah, but anyway, my very first video, which was, I tell you what it was July 3rd of 2023. But you go back and you'll see the very first video I did was that tool demonstrating how to do that.
Do you want me to put all these papers back in the old papers?
Yep. Okay, check date code, Vintage GM, Starmar Housing, something. Oh, Mike N's going, oh, an engine piston. Yeah, an engine piston. If you long, I still suggest wood as a safe surface. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you put wood and you're trying to press a wrist pin out.
You might have pictures on it.
Okay. If you're trying to press a wrist pin out with wood, you're going to crush the wood.
It's not going to work.
That's not going to work.
They're in there.
Way too much pressure.
Tony made a video once about how to heat it up with a torch, and you can do that, but you better make sure you have some kind of guide to stop it
and if you're,
where you need it to stop.
If you're saying put wood here, you're going to distort the piston.
Yeah.
You have to support the rod because you're pressing the pin out of the rod, not out of the piston. See, it's floating. It's floating in the piston.
You could take them to the machine shop.
Some machine shops have that tool that was made, but you cannot. You support the piston with wood, you will distort the piston. Guaranteed. Ask me how I know. Because I ruined it.
Ruined a brand new piston.
I ruined a brand new piston doing exactly that. No, you need to have. That's what this is. I used chromoly steel because that's what I had, but I'm glad I did have that because this thing is thick. Look at all that welded together, and then I heat treated it. I normalized it. It's chromoly, so you just heat it up and let it cool at room temperature. So it's 90,000 psi. But that thing does not distort when you support the rod on this. Support the rod on this flat part, and then you press on the wrist pin. So you're pushing the wrist pin through the rod, and you won't distort the wrist pin. I mean, you won't distort the rod, and you're putting zero pressure on the piston, none. Have no fear, the Dougster is here.
Welcome, Dougster.
Kim's way over there. For everybody that's kind of wandered in here tonight, Kim has moved me to the other end of the shop. I don't know how long this is going to last, but she is she's cleaning up, finding stuff. I don't know.
Put him away from all his toys.
Elijah says, thanks, Buff. That will save a piston for reuse. Yeah, and I don't know where to tell you to get one of those. You might have to just design it and build it yourself, or look at the one that I have in my video and figure it out. TD, I was not in the Air Force, but I have many friends here that were. Offutt was the headquarters for is Strategic Command. Is that what they call it now? Because it used to be called SAC, Strategic Air Command. And I had a lot of friends that were in SAC. Bronny, we're not going to talk about that here. We're just not going to talk about that here. In fact, you were gone.
They making trouble?
Yeah, his messages won't show up here anymore.
Okay.
Elijah, it will distort with wood or any surface. Yeah, you do not. Yeah, not. I understood that. Not word wood. You do not put any pressure on the piston. You put the pressure on the rod.
It distorts easily.
Because it didn't take much before that piston.
Can I put these pistons away?
Yeah, you can put them away. In fact, do we have any? You know what I want? Oh, look at this stuff. You found this stuff.
Look how gouged that piston. I never realized this.
Oh, that piston had, see this piston, you can see it. That had some rough use.
This one is too. But check that out. I never realized this piston's cracked.
Yeah, it cracked. It's broken off.
This came out of the dart.
Which dart? The engine that came out of that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so you had a broken piston.
I didn't know I had a broken piston.
Well, let's show that. The engine that this is the car we took to No Name Nationals.
Broken rings and broken
rings, and look at the skirt on that piston. Probably down in the oil pan.
It's supposed to be like that.
Yeah, it's supposed to look like that, and it looks like that. There you go.
Crazy. Stuff you see. The things you learn.
Let's see here. Racing barrel support method I described or Buff's way, either way. Barrel support method. Okay, machine shops have screwed up pistons. I want to reuse. Wrong fixture. Yeah, because that's bad when a machine shop does that. They should know better. Let's see, UFO potatoes, UAP potatoes. Let's call the whole thing off. Again, just run a 340. They have full floating wrist pins.
There you go.
Well, we're not changing to a 340 so we can have full floating wrist pins.
If I had a 340, I'd be running it, but I don't. So
no, we're running a slant six. I know. See, my friend Carl is like that. He hated slant sixes. Every car he had to have a 440 in it or a Hemi, and if it didn't have one of those, it was no good. That's just how he was. And if you ran something other than a 440 or a Hemi, you were an idiot. It's just. Oh well, that's just he was rather opinionated, to say the least. BNR Kent Moore used to make a barrel piston support fixture for a Pontiac V8 engines. Press the pins out. See it in vintage service manuals. Okay. I got to move my something. I have screwed this up again. Oh, Kim, I don't know where to find my. I'm going to have to.
What are you looking for?
Oh, I had to do something. So you know what happened?
Yeah, throw it over to the other
I got to throw it over to this screen, and then I got to bring it back. What happened was There was somebody in here causing trouble, and I had to get rid of them.
Good job. But you managed it.
Yeah, I managed it, and then my all my other windows went underneath this window, and I had to get them back. Let's see here. See, Dougster saying hi, Olive. Hi, Joe. Look at that. PR. Thanks again. Dougster says 340s are expensive now. Yeah, and we have some 360s and some 318s, and I've got a 318 poly I want to build. It's just we can't build everything all at once, and every car isn't going to get the biggest engine.
No.
And we don't mind running some 6-cylinders. They're kind of fun in a way.
They're good cars. The parts are reasonable.
Somebody says he hit alternate plus F4. I don't know if that's tough. You know what happened was Kim's got my screens kind of not the way they were over there.
Oh, I wrecked the whole thing.
So I've got some things I need to see that are on top of the chat. But if I touch the chat, those windows go underneath the chat. So then I got to get them back on top of them. Kim, do we have... I hate to... I may just get up and go get it myself.
What are you looking for?
The hand cleaner and the wipes, because I got grease all over my hands, and I can't. My nose itches, and then I'm gonna wipe grease on my nose. Durability and consistency wins in bracket drag racing. Yeah, and if we go over there, like I might race Kim with my 6-cylinder Ford. Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
I might go over there and race Kim with my 6-cylinder, or just race just for the fun of it, or I might just drive the car over there as a sport vehicle with some tools in it.
Enjoy the other races. There's lots of good stuff there.
We go to No Name Nationals a little bit because we might want to race, and we've been over there 3 years, and Kim raced 1 out of the 3 years, and I've never raced, although I rode down the track this time. I've never been on a drag strip till this time. It's kind of like being on a runway, except you don't take off. You got to stop at the other. Yeah. But it was really fun to go down a drag strip.
Part of the purpose of our channels is to teach. We're a teaching sort of shop. I mean, we don't build customer cars, so we're not here to build cars to sell, and we don't really race. We teach. And you can teach fundamentals.
And we just have fun. It's just a small shop. We have fun.
On whatever you have.
Ruger Farming. Good evening.
If you can build a good 6-cylinder, you could probably learn how to build a V8, And if we mess something up, well, it was only a 6 in the first.
BNR says, when is a budget engine no longer low cost? When you put the old cam in and have to pull it back down. Yeah. But it's not bad because Professor P is going to do a custom grind for us, which is really cool. And we'll have to buy a set of lifters. But that engine in that Dart, that thing will probably outlast both of us. That thing will probably go a couple of 100,000 miles,
Oh, yeah, and it'll be a hot slant 6. It'll get that little car up and going.
Well, yeah, it'll have the 2-barrel, what do you call it? The Super 6 manifold on it. It'll have a custom grind camshaft. Everything in that engine's new. She did the port job on it, and we'll have to do some other kind of exhaust. But when you need a new set of pistons and overboard, that
big machine work is a killer.
That engine in there, Kim bought a used engine from a guy that was putting a V8 in a 67 Barracuda. So it was a slant 6 out of a 67 Barracuda, unknown to us. She got it over here, tore it down. The head was a piece of junk. The valves and the valve guides are all clink, 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 really loose in the guides.
They were all gummed up with some kind of varnish.
It was a mess. So then somebody put a short block in it because it had a rebuilder's tag on it. It was 40 over. We had the pistons out. Just did a quick hone job on it because no tape, nothing. It was just nice. Probably only had a few miles on it. So we put that short block back together, but it had a cam in it that was unknown to us.
Didn't look that great, but I figured out everything else looked so good. I figured out it's probably fine. We numbered the lifters when we took them out, but then I was looking at the lifters and there was a couple that didn't look so hot. I switched them out for other lifters that I had that looked better, but then at that point we were suspicious. And so that's why we marked the lifters. And immediately upon the first start, we started watching them, and it didn't work. Didn't work. So now we do more because the car was supposed to be done and out of here, and now it gets.
Yeah, it's bad. It's okay. It's what is it you always say? Is it something turns out good? It's good content. When something turns out bad, it's good content.
You just have to roll with the punches.
Just roll
what are
with
you
it.
going to do? What are you going to do? Get mad?
What's really good is we're not working on customer cars, because when this kind of thing happens with a customer car, then your customer's mad.
Yeah.
And then you don't make money. You just work harder. And they're mad because it takes too long. They're mad because they're probably going to have to cost more. And then you end up doing labor for free. It's never good. But when you're working on your own car, you just go, well.
I mean, it's not great.
I could have made a better call, but I thought we could get away with this, and we didn't. So we're going to.
The other thing, right, is it's hard to justify. Like, why are you putting performance cam in that engine, Kim? Just leave it stock and run it and enjoy it. It's like, yeah. Like, where are you getting the money for all that, Kim? Like, yeah, you're right. It's like, but then it's not going to run. We have to do something. And the price difference between just a regular replacement cam.
Did you hear that?
That was like fireworks or something.
A gun. Yeah, somebody shot something.
It's pretty loud.
It sounded like a shotgun or something.
Gender reveal.
Well,
it was Tannerite.
It could be. They got all these fireworks stands right now.
Oh, for New Year's.
Somebody probably set off an M80 or something.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's only a few bucks more, and we're working with Professor P. He's getting us a really nice discount. We don't know exactly what it's going to cost yet, but because we're participants with this, and because we're an active shop and we're live, I guess it's sponsorship.
There's some kind of deal with the AHRA, and Professor P is one of the, I guess, lead engineers at Edelbrock.
He's the guy.
He designs cams. So I don't know. They got some kind of deal between AHRA and No Name Nationals crowd, which is mostly this crowd, and so they're gonna give some breaks on stuff from Edelbrock, which is also comp cams and what else? Lenati. There's a whole group of automotive stuff that's Edelbrock now. Oh, people work on normal cars, makes this channel. Not everybody has unlimited budget. Yeah, that's us. We don't have an unlimited budget. We have a very limited budget. What we have is a bunch of junk around here. And it always seems like the junk we have, we can go pull something. I mean, we needed a drive shaft for this Dodge Dart we're working on. And Kim found a drive shaft that was, an inch and 5/8 too long or something?
Yep.
We shortened it. It's in there. It works.
Wasn't easy.
Car owners. I'm broke. Can't pay you. Yeah. Yeah, nothing wrong. Daryl says nothing wrong with working on what you can afford and then enjoying it.
Yeah.
B&R Racing, diesel truck owners. I need my truck so I can earn money and haul drive. Yeah, well, there's vehicles that are. See, I was in the automotive business for 11 years, radiator and air conditioning shops, and I was in Central California, and there were people there that were customers of mine that had to have their vehicles because they're business vehicles. And I did some trucks. The ones that always were in a hurry were people that had old automotive engines out at on a farm, and the engine would run a water pump, and they'd be irrigating with it. Man, they have a radiator problem. They're in there, and they need it right now because their crop's going to die. And there goes another explosion. Somebody's probably setting off fireworks.
Yeah, something fun.
So, let's see, Elijah, do you guys install hydraulic flat tappet cams in your builds. I am terrified of failure with them. Well, it's just that we figured out, not we, the problem has been figured out. And, a cam, the lobe is tapered by a few thousandths. Like the lobes, not the lobe this way, the lobe this way, looking at it square, it's tapered by about 3 thousandths. And that's so the lifter will spin. And there are lots and lots of cams that were ground like a roller cam where they're flat. And then the lifters don't spin. And in 20-minute breakout, they'll break 20-minute break-in, they'll wipe out a cam. And so when we get that cam, I'm sure Professor P will get it right, but when we get that cam, we're going to do a video on how to check that and then use good lifters. And of course, you get the lifters from the same people. What are those new lifters called?
Diamond light coating.
Diamond.
DLC
coating.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. There was a commercial. I missed it. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to tell everybody from the commercial, so I'm talking through the commercial. I'm sorry. So those cams should be ground. So the lobe at the top of the lobe, it's tapered 3 thousandths about, and that'll make the lifter spin. And if those are flat, the lifter's not going to spin. It'll wipe out the cam in a 20-minute break-in. It'll be wiped out. So we'll show how to check that. And then the new lifters that are going to be coming from I don't know, what's Edelbrock calling that? Comp Cam? I don't know. Is it Comp Cam's lifter? I'm not sure. The ones
I
with
don't know what it will be.
The ones with the
come from. Yeah.
The ones that have the coating that are that don't wipe out. So yeah, I'm not so worried about it. A year ago, I was really worried about it, but
I would be very cautious if you buy something off of eBay.
Yeah, like eBay cams or some.
Because they are very. I mean, they're going to be trying desperately to clearance out this poorly manufactured stuff.
That that happened to a lot of people. Wiped out camshafts. But that's, that was a good year. When was that? Like in the last 2 years? Well, the people that make camshafts, the people that make quality stuff, they were on top of it and figured it out,
Well,
customer rates until
some of the companies were blaming the people who did the work. But then they realized that, like, no, there's something going on here, but it really was a debacle.
Also, it's too much of YouTube, for instance, goes for big power and breaks 10 grand in sponsored engines. Well, of course.
I mean, big money, big power, big burnouts, all that flash and pump and everything. People like that
Elijah
stuff.
says, my last 2 builds, I spent an extra grand on each to go roller. But then, if you have a roller failure, that turns into a blade too.
Yeah, that's a problem too.
And you know how many 3rd generation Hemis had wiped out cams because of errors, problems.
Trust but verify.
And
know where you're getting your parts from. Verify they did their job. And it sucks that you can't just install stuff, but you're asking for problems.
Kim, I remember this from somewhere. I think it was on my desk at Titan Aircraft.
I found it in one of the boxes of things for you.
Yeah, it could have been.
Funny, huh?
I think it's got a couple of Phillips screws holding it together. It's got 2 halves. What the hell? Why is there Phillips screws in this thing? It is 2 halves. Oh, it's got a switch on the bottom. Oh, it's got a switch on its belly. It does something. We'll have to take this apart, figure it out. It's not just a static display. Oh my God. That's somebody pestering me. Go away. Oh. Brenda says, I helped the parents to break in a new cam, old worn out springs. Oh yeah, don't run the most heavy duty springs. I mean, at 2,000 RPM, which is really probably about where you want to break it in, you don't need big old beefy springs. You just need the valves to close, So
I mean,
yeah, put the good springs in after you're finished doing the
that's
braking.
a big, lengthy, expensive process.
It is,
And
but
people have to realize if you're trying to build that big, hot, powerful motor, you need a team of experts. Like, it ain't easy to build a super powerful motor on your own in your shop in your free time.
Raj says I wanted to avoid that stressful break-in period with the flat tappet, and all I was hearing was horror stories. Yeah, because there were a lot of horror stories for about a year, but the good quality cam manufacturers, they were on top of it, of course, because they're making that stuff, and it was they figured out what the problem was.
The problem is that you look at the price and it's hard to distinguish the difference in value, right? This cam has numbers, this cam has numbers, this one costs 2.5 times as much. Why does it cost so much more, but the numbers are the same? It's like, well, this is a brand name. It's like, well, what am I getting? What value am I getting? And if you cannot perceive where the value is, if they are same apples for apples, why spend all the extra money, right? But now we're learning, well, where is the value? The value is in that the machine work is correct, that the ramps are appropriate, and they're going to spin the lifters. And a lot of people
For some
found
reason,
out
there were a lot of cams out there that came from somewhere that
they
didn't
were
have.
ground as roller
They
cams,
were ground flat like a roller cam
but sold as.
and sold as flat tappet cams, and that's terrible.
And some of the machine work was just subpar because some of the lifters spun and some didn't, and that doesn't even make sense.
Let's see, your flat tappet fails. Cast iron holes throughout the engine. Well, if you have a cam failure, yeah, you got metal all through the engine,
Just
and that's
shredded.
why this slant six we only ran it for. Kim says 5 minutes. I don't even think it was 5 minutes. We didn't have the thermostat open yet, so it just ran long enough that we could see that that the that we had 4 push rods that weren't spinning. It's okay. Shut it off. We got to fix this uh, before you have a wiped out cam and metal in the engine. So that's why that engine's not running. That's why we're going to take it apart and fix it. And we're going to use new stuff that we are going to check. It comes from somebody that we trust, that knows their shit, and then we should be good. And of course, we'll do the braking.
Just Tim says just Mopar Joe builds big engines in his garage all the time. He does, and it costs him a lot of money, and he knows what he's doing, but he also is smart enough to ask questions and defer to people who are experts because you cannot. Nobody can be an expert on cams and an expert on lifters and an expert on oil pumps and an expert on pistons and an expert on rods and on. I mean, it's a lot of stuff to learn.
We have a lot of people in here that are friends of ours for a long time, or no name nationals kind of group in here. But we also have a lot of people that are not, and so I want to kind of give a shout out to Professor P, who's Slant Daily Garage, and the AHRA, the American Hot Rod Association, which is Dallas Brown is the president of the AHRA, and they do a live every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock in the AHRA channel. Now they're not going to do one this Wednesday because it's New Year's Day, but they'll be back in the first week of January. So they do a 2-hour live every Wednesday, and they talk about all this stuff. And these are 2 really, really sharp people that know their shit, and it's worth attending that live. Of course, it's worth coming here too. But and they like Professor P. He's got some fast cars, a couple fast cars, but he builds a lot of slant six Chryslers too, and he does a lot of stuff on budgets. So he, on a lower budget, so he understands that. And but these two guys, they know what they're doing. And Professor P, he's one of the lead engineers at Edible, Comp Cams. You know, it's pretty nice to have somebody like that. You can just go in alive with them and ask them questions, and they'll talk to you. Really, really good opportunity to draw on that.
All right, I'm going to read some of the chats.
Okay,
BNR says that basically that roller, uh, if the rollers fail in a roller lifter, they explode and put lots of bad things into the crankshaft pistons. Actually, worse. Yeah, it's bad
that's
either way.
that's
You
what I
don't want a
said.
lifter failure.
If you lose that roller, it turns into a lathe on the crankshaft on
Yeah.
the camshaft. Yeah, it's
Brenda
terrible.
Cargirl says swapping springs with the old ones while still on the head, you can use a piece of rope holding the valve up. You're right. You can feed rope in and then turn the piston so it comes up and holds the valve so you can. Yeah, it's possible.
There,
You could
there's
also potentially use compressed air on an engine that
I've
has
used
good.
I've used air, but that scares the hell out of me. That might lose the valve in there, and then you got to take it apart.
Uh, Olive says a lot of online purchases is possible to just spend more money and not get better quality. So you need to kind of know. Yeah, yeah, it takes a lot of expertise to know who to buy from, who's making good quality stuff, who isn't, and there's a lot of pomp and they'll baffle you with BS to get you to buy their stuff whether it's any good or not. So and then trust your experts, know who your experts are, know who's in it for the money and who's in it for the love of the build. Uh, Sarah Canadian Diesel says, I'm building a Speeduino Stallion ECU for a Dirty Max diesel project. And it is fun and a learning curve. Yeah. So Speeduino is like a
Is that
art.
like an Arduino or like a
Yeah, it's
like a
based on that. It's like a
or like a
little.
Raspberry Pi or something?
Yeah, it's like a little computer. So that is when you build it complicated with all the sensors to try and really get it. That would be super cool. I used to really want to do that. Right now, I'm just still trying to get a engine that doesn't eat cams. I'm not doing so great. And then we built the other slant six, and did we ever check to see if the lifters rotated
Which
on the other slant six?
the one in my Valiant?
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
we did check
Oh
them.
yeah.
Okay,
Don't you
good.
remember we marked them and watched them and everything?
No, I
Yeah.
don't remember it,
Yeah.
but the engine runs really great, but we've never driven the car anywhere yet, so I don't
Well,
know.
we drove it around a little bit. Yeah,
Uh,
I probably put 10 miles on that car since in the last year, and I paid insurance for all that time.
Tim says JMJ Just Mopar Joe uses a really good machine. Yeah, he knows the guys personally, and they have a vested interest because he is visible, right? So they have a vested interest in him having success.
There's a couple things I want to address here. First of all, the one at the bottom, Elijah says, "Thanks for the information on the flat tappet cam issues. You really need." I can't stress this enough. Wednesday night, not this coming Wednesday, but after that, every week, go into the AHRA live at 7 Central. You just there's so much good information there. You just it's well worth your time. Hippie Long. I think good parts pay off for 17 years. YouTube folks have helped me, and also bring up for A bodies only, for B bodies only, and Maverick Comp. Okay, all these forums are really good, but I want to say something about forums because when I was in the aircraft business, we had forums about that dealt with a company that I worked with, and they're full of all kinds of people that are full of just they make up stuff and they don't know what they're talking about. But there's always that 4, 5, 6 people in the forum that really know their shit. And after you're on the forum for a while, you figure out who those people are, and they're the ones you pay attention to. And yes, you will learn a lot.
KJ
Okay,
Cow
go ahead.
says, I just bought a Racer Brown cam. I've heard of those. Historic company that designed cam profiles for Mopar. Awesome. I hope you got a good one. If it's like new old stock, that would be amazing. Sarah says I need a high performance engine to go to Johnny Cleveland Engines in Abbotsford.
Oh, Abbotsford, British Columbia.
It
That's up.
topped machining years ago. Stop machining? Yeah.
That's right on the kind of on the American U.S. border.
Sarah
Uh,
says, "You'll get there, Kim. I know you will." I don't feel like I won't get there. I just know that, hey, you just roll with the punches and try and
I just says thanks,
lean into the bumps.
Puff and Kim. You're my favorite channel. Is you guys?
Oh, that's so sweet of you to say.
I love it.
We're
Yeah,
just here
we just have a good time here.
tonight.
And
I said we were going to do bench work. We're just cleaning out bins, trying to make space so we can work.
tonight we're at the other end of the shop. Usually we're over. Where is it? Usually we're over there in front of that thing, and you see that monitor that it's on its side over there with the blue tape on it. That monitor is usually where I have the chat, and I usually have a table there. So, and I'm sitting between that and the car, so the car's in my background, and then we also have this camera. So, if we're working on that car, or whatever car we have pulled in, you get to see all that. So, uh, and I think we'll be back over there. I hope. BNR Racing, I registered. I registered, paid today for No Name Nationals 2025.
Congratulations.
Great. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Uh, so I'm thinking I wanted to say something about that No Name Nationals. Yeah. So, um, yeah, that's No Name Nationals. I've been there 3 years, haven't raced anything yet. But this year, I'll probably take. I plan on taking my what is that thing? Mercury Z7. It's a little fox body coupe. I plan on taking that thing down the track at least once, uh, just to see what it'll do, and so I can say I've been on a drag strip. It looks a lot like a runway, except about the time I pull the nose up, you got to put the brakes on. See, I flew airplanes for years, so when I get moving like that, it's like okay, rotate. Anyway,
BNR says back in the 1990s, cam and lifter failures were rare. Well, we've exported a lot of the machining and to people who are just cheap. And like I remember in the early 90s when the machine shop in my local Napa shut down. They just said we don't have anybody. We tried to hire somebody and they were trouble. They wanted more money, and they just they shut it down and they never reopened it. And they just said, we can't make money. Everybody will buy cheap stuff before they'll pay to have an experienced person do the work well. Now we get, but now it's coming back. Now it's coming back into specialty stuff. And yeah, yeah, the sources it's different. There's a lot more cheap parts coming onto the market, and they're problematic because they're cheap. I've never had a problem with either. The other thing is that people are keeping cars longer, and people are bringing back cars that they would have just scrapped before. And so now we're learning about the problems that 50 and 60-year-old cars have because, you know,
it's right here,
what's up?
that line right there.
Is it Brenda?
No, no, that line right there. Just skip over. Uh, let's see here. I don't want to take it away, but I don't want to talk
Okay,
about it.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we'll find out.
So wait a minute. Sarah says something about bringing a Lada to No Name Nationals. Do you have a Lada? Only Ladas I ever were in Russian. I was in quite a few of them. Uh, man, yeah, I guess you in Canada they had a bunch of those. Yeah, bring it. You know how much fun that would be?
We would enjoy it.
We would certainly enjoy it.
And somebody they would match.
I'll race your Lada with my 6-cylinder Fox body. I might actually beat somebody who brings that.
There you
But
go.
then he might
He
beat
might whoop
me
your
too.
butt.
He might beat me too.
It seemed Lester LeSabre says it actually turned out better for you that some of the push rods didn't turn. Well,
Yeah, because we'll end up with a better thing. I mean, if they'd all been turning, we would have had just a fine stock engine.
There'd have been more money still in my pocket, and I wouldn't have to take the motor back out. But we're going to make the most. When we life gives you lemons, you make explosive lemons, and you use it to burn down life's house because we don't want lemons.
Yeah, all says something about China and the cheaper parts, okay, but the more depth force. Here's the way I look at it. China stuff. Some of the stuff is pretty darn good, and I think some of the stuff that has American uh, brand names on it, I think that the companies have set up their own quality control over there, and some of it's pretty good. But some of the materials aren't as good, and some of this no name stuff, quality control may not be as good. So you end up with
Well,
you end up with unknowns, and then you got quality problems, and you just don't know where the
some things
quality's going
get
to be.
lost in translation.
But like uh, the like Harbor Freight tools, man. I mean, I remember when the first Chinese tools came in there, they're pretty bad. But Harbor Freight, they got like three different levels of tools now, three different uh, uh, costs, three different values, and I've got a lot of Harbor Freight stuff, and they guarantee it. So I also have a lot of Snap-on stuff.
I
But
like when you can see it, uh, like in your hand before you buy it. That's another thing. Is a lot of the purchasing has now gone to online.
what's the quickest
So you
car I've
never
ever
see it
driven?
before you get it.
I don't know the quickest.
Oh, you had a
Fastest car I've
you had a
driven?
quick car.
Yeah, but I never raced it, so I don't know like quarter mile
Oh, you don't
times
know
or
the
eighth mile
time.
times.
Yeah.
But as far as fast cars, you know what a De Tomasa Mangusta is? I went about 150 in one of those one time.
In Mexico,
Oh yeah, I mean
a long
it
time
was a long
ago.
time ago. And same thing with Pantera. Went pretty fast in a Pantera. And man, in an '07 Grand Prix with the Pontiac Grand Prix with the sideways LS engine, I
Ooh.
went I was bumping up close to 150 in one of those. But I've been faster on the ground in airplanes, a lot faster, well over 200. but
I'll be right back.
yeah, so um, I've never really driven a quick car, like a quick accelerating car. You can't beat the Lada, then you're doing something wrong. Yeah, the Ladas I rode in were just around Russia, and I was, in Russia at the time. This is in the late '90s. $2, $2 US. They take you anywhere. So there's like gypsy cabs everywhere. They're unofficial. Anybody that had a car then was a cab, and they'd see you walk and they'd pull over, and $2 they'd take you anywhere. So I rode in a lot of Ladas, but I never they never. I mean, they go kind of fast compared to here, like on roads that they shouldn't have been going so fast in the snow. But uh, they weren't quick. Let's see here. The material, everyone says the material quality has gone way down. Yeah, I mean, that has happened some. All says must replace, may as well upgrade a bit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why, because we were talking to Shane, Professor P, and uh, he's he got interested in the car, so he's
Yeah, he said
helping us.
I got a cam profile that'll work so good for that car. You gotta try it. I'll get you a really good deal on it. I
Well, I
want to
just
see it
says
go.
quickest quarter mile, fastest miles. I don't have any idea. I rode down a drag strip once in a slow car with somebody else at No Name Nationals this year. It's
I
Dr.
mean, it
Go.
wasn't that
Dr. Go. Well, we were going 58 miles an hour at the end of an 8
slow. Okay,
mile.
that's pretty slow.
That's pretty slow. But it was, I don't know what we
The
turned.
fastest car I ever owned on a quarter mile was like about a 1760 quarter mile. That was my 60.
Oh, I know.
That was my 68 Dodge Dart.
One time I rode in many, many years ago. It was a 69 GTX, and it was a car that turned in the 12s in the quarter mile, and I rode in that. That seemed pretty good. I was going to buy a 63 Ford with a 427, 425 horsepower, 427. 4-speed, and I was driving. The owner was sitting next to me, and I raced a GTX and just blew him away. Got up to the next stoplight, and he pulled up next to me and he yelled at us out the window, what do you got in that thing? And the guy that owned the car goes, it's a 427, but it isn't running very good. And I remember the guy with the GTX, so we know it's a 440. He goes, it isn't running very good. So I don't know what that thing would have turned, but it was, I don't know, didn't seem that fast, but it was. I mean, it felt good. Says even stuff like doorknobs, we got perfectly fine set 5 years. Better ordered the same thing and its own parts and screws didn't fit each other. Yeah. And I can't see the end of that all because I got a window on top of that. I guess I could move. I got to start moving windows around to see the longer chats because I can't find the cursor. Can't make the cursor do what I want. There it is. Clearly, they never maintained the tooling. Oh yeah, that happens. Ken comes back. You need to say, she's back. Just to mess with her.
I hear you.
That's Sayre.
There.
My quickest and fastest. This is Elijah. My quickest and fastest is a '69 Roadrunner with a built 440. That's probably very similar to that 440 GTX I was in. Oh, that Gremlin. My friend that had the Gremlin with the 429 Ford, it turned in the low 12, so I drove that thing some. And I have no idea what my Cougar. I don't have the pictures here, but my Cougar was a 327 Chevy, and I've showed pictures of it here. Really low gears, had 556 gears in it. It was meant to leap forward one block at a time, street racing. But I ended up trading that for cars and some money. Tim says my first lotto ride was in Moscow. We got T-boned by a big dump truck. He gave me my money back. Oh, nice guy. How were you after that? Man, you've had some rough times of getting injured. Oh, man. Roadrunner, the Roadrunner was in a high 10-second car, totally street legal. Yeah, that's a fast car. Yeah. Yeah, I probably haven't been in anything that fast. I've just been, fast on the ground sometimes. Usually takeoff runs. A couple of takeoff runs that were over 200. I didn't really think about it at the time, but afterwards I think about these tires going down. The centrifugal force on some tires going up fast.
Here, right, oh, invisible glasses. Oh,
what I had, I'm sure my Duster with 318 was fastest. Maybe my little C with the L28 would win on the track. AJ Kylie, never underestimate a 340A body. Yeah, those are something. I remember when those things were new, and that's all those like late '60s and early '70s Chrysler products. All those cars was right when I got my driver's license in 1970, so I was really into cars then. That's all the spoiled rich kids out of high school. But so I never had anything then. But I had cars later that a lot of cars I just bought and sold. I bought them because I had something wrong with them, fix them right away, and then they're always for sale. I always said I had a dynamic collection because I buy them, sell them, buy them, sell them, buy them, sell them, try to make a few bucks each time. But I never had the money to keep them around. Is that thing still working, Kim?
This?
Yeah. It is working.
It's a little fussy.
It's a little fussy. Yeah, we got it. It's the contacts for the batteries.
That's a shame.
Well, we just got to take it apart.
We don't use any copper as well.
Put some Down at the house. Maybe it's up here. I got a can of spray contact cleaner.
I just saw it. I put it on the shelf.
Okay, so we need to. I can take that apart and do that while we're here. Do you know what? Do you know where you got this from? There's pieces. There's layups of just the carbon fiber and just the foam separately that are not all bonded together. See what this is 2 layers of carbon fiber with foam in between. And this thing stiff like a piece of wood. But when you have them separately, they're bendy like this. They have no strength at all. But when it's a layup together, this stuff's extremely strong. And that was the 2 other pieces that go with this is my demonstration. And we even made a demonstration like that with 2 sheets of fiberglass and foam here. We did a video on it, stood on it. And just the foam, of course, we stood on it, snapped. And the fiberglass, we stood on it, just bends. And then the piece that was bonded together, we got on and jumped up and down like a diving board. Really strong. Let's see here. I'm sorry, I'm not keeping up the chat. Oh, maybe I am. Never underestimate. Oh, I am keeping up. But if I had a time machine and money, I'd order the 340. But now we can do at least that well with 318s. You know, one of the fastest cars I ever rode in, but didn't ride very far, was Uncle Tony's bottle rocket. And he didn't have the nitrous on it yet. And he goes, jump in this, and we had to drive across the pit area. And we were way over in the edges of the pits where there were no other cars. And Uncle Kathy got up front. What'd she go by now? Banana? Kathy Banana or something?
Kathy Bananas.
And I got in the back seat on the passenger side, and Tony took off. And that's when he had a manual transmission in it. And he took off and did a wheelie and just set me back. I wasn't ready for it. Didn't have a seatbelt on or anything. He did a wheelie in the pit area with a 318. I never expected that. Oh, and later that night is when he broke the axle and
made a mess
on the track. Oiled up the track for him. Closed the track down for an hour or more. That was not a good night.
Yeah, they weren't happy.
They were not happy with Tony. Kim, what time is it? I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? Oh, it's 11:59. It's almost midnight here.
What time did we start? 10.
We started at 10. We've been out 2 hours. I just noticed that we had like 25 people in here, and we're down to like 17. People probably get tired and dropping off.
It's pretty late.
Bottle Rocket, when he had the 4-speed, was I think subtly similar to my Duster setup. If I had a time machine, this is Tim says, if I had a time machine, I probably would have kept my 67 GTX convertible. And kept that and passed on the next 2 marriages.
Yeah, well.
Yes,
Yeah.
substantially. That's what I thought you meant. Oh, yeah. The marriages can be bad, or marriages can be good.
It's only hindsight that's 2020. You can't know that unless you lived it, and then you know.
I know a few people that had good marriages, like Tony and Kathy. I think they're solid. You know, he met her when she was 15, and he was like 18 or 19 or something. And he's 61 or 2 now. They're still together, you know. And then, you know, they had kids and grandkids and everything. Pretty good. Kim, you're really going after it.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, you're cleaning the place all up. It's nice, but
I'm trying to make it. I'm so sick of tripping over stuff. I don't even want to come out here. I know it's going to be a mess.
You found some stuff I haven't seen in ages.
I brought it out here just to give you something to look at and talk about.
Like combs and a brush.
Well, yeah, those are good things.
And a giraffe.
And a giraffe.
I have a giraffe with a switch on its belly that I never knew it had a switch before. I don't know what that's for. This was on a desk of mine somewhere. I'm thinking it was a Titan aircraft. But I really don't remember. I remember it sitting on a desk. What is that?
I don't remember.
What is this?
Can you tell how I got it and cut it out?
You cut it with something.
That's probably my plasma cutter.
That's probably like a first run on a plasma cutter?
Yeah.
Before you knew how to use it very well?
Hey, show him the dart one last time, because I'm going to shut El Gato down.
Oh, you want me to put El Gato up?
Just show him. The dart's here.
El Gato, hang on.
I took the manifold off.
There's El Gato camera. The camera said El Gato on it. I don't know why. But Kim changed the name to the cat because El Gato means the cat. There she is, swinging it around.
Okay, and then you'll see the intake manifold is off the car.
Yeah, intake, oops, out of focus. There, you're back in focus.
Switching it from
there it is.
Regular to
that's way out of focus, Kim. That doesn't work.
Super 6.
That's so far out of focus. Okay, you're closer. Yeah, there you go. So that's the Super 6 two-barrel intake manifold.
Yeah, we were building a carburetor for that yesterday. So lots to do. Lots to do. All right, I'm shutting it down.
You're going to shut it down? Okay, I'll go back to the other camera. Tim says there's stories I laugh out now, but back then. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I can laugh at now that I couldn't laugh at the time.
There's stories that I can laugh at and then I cry.
And then you cry.
Because life is like that sometimes, you know? There's a little bit of everything. If you survive, you're still here kicking.
Actually, Alice says, I was kind of hoping future me could get my Celica at the time, but I didn't show. I think that's what she meant. It'd be long. I need to find a Barracuda guy. I'm a caretaker for a 65 4-speed Commando white with gold stripes and interior. Kim is the queen of spatial efficiency.
I'm trying to be.
KJ Kylie says that.
Thank you, KJ.
Kim has spurts of this, and then she'll work like under a car where she doesn't feel like getting out from under the car. Pretty soon, every tool in the toolbox is in it.
I make a horrible mess, and he's furious with me. And then he wants to sit there, and I want to clean him. So it just, we work it out. We work it out. That's all you do. All you can do is just keep working at it.
You know, this crash I got in with my Mazda, I really missed that car because I paid a lot of money for it. I bought it new and made all those payments and everything. It's finally in my name, my car, and it got wrecked.
And it wasn't an accident.
And the guy, some jerk, just rammed me at 70 miles an hour in my left rear. So, but I got some insurance money, not nearly enough to cover the car. But I was able to go get that Zephyr C7, that Fox body coupe. And I've wanted a Fox body for a long time, so I'm really happy I have that. And I used to have basically the same car. It was a Fairmont Futura coupe. And I kind of miss having that. And that's one of those girlfriend stories that the split up, I lost the car, she got it. So
you got the gold mine and I got the shaft.
So
which would you rather have as far as cameras go? This one or that one for chopping money?
Well, I think the bigger one's better.
They're about the same. This one?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll put one of them away.
Yeah.
Trying to get this.
Lester LeSabre
Look behind you. It's never been so.
Lester LeSabre says a clean shop is a happy shop.
Yeah.
Tim says Dulcich. Just says Dulcich. So, oh yeah, she's really cleaned this up. lot of cleaning. I don't know why Tim just wrote Dulcich.
I don't know.
But so, oh, we got more hammers.
Did you ever see one of them?
Yeah. Is that mine or yours?
It's a 32 ounce. It says USA on it.
Oh, that's yours then.
That's a nice one.
The handle was cracked.
Well,
Yeah, just be careful with it.
it's not for splitting wood. And then, have you ever seen one of those?
Yeah, I've seen one of those. Isn't that one's yours too?
My dad made that. You've never
That
seen
is-
one of those.
Well, I may have seen that one before.
You might have seen this one before.
What'd your dad make that with? What's that piece of material?
I don't know. He put it in a lathe.
Your dad made that in a lathe.
It's kind of like your white hammer.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, but my white one's pointed. I don't really know what the white one's for. It was an impulse buy. I saw it, I'd never seen one before, so I bought it. I was in Harbor Freight, and it's like, oh, look at that. I bought it.
Delrin or something like that.
It could be, if that's Delrin, but it's clear.
I mean, this is from the 80s. He made it in the 80s. He used to work crystallography lab at the University of Pittsburgh. My father.
Oh, this tool tray on a creeper works. If I put me on a creeper, I can't turn a wrench without propelling myself around like like you're in space. Yeah, I can't work on a creeper anymore.
No,
I work on card. I just put cardboard on.
We don't do that to the man.
Steve Edwards, welcome to the chat. Have you ever had a C4 Corvette? I had a C4 Corvette for 10 years. I had an 87, and I got rid of it a couple of years ago. I couldn't sell it. I had it for sale for almost 2 years. And we had a pilot out there that I was working with, and he got sent out to Arizona. He was there, and they quit renting. The company quit renting cars for everybody. He was whining and bitching about not having a car. And I said, this is the day I met the guy. I said, hey, you want a car? I'll give you a car. So after work, we went out to my shop, and I took the battery cable back on the 87 Corvette. It was a red and black Corvette that I had painted. And I said, here's the deal. You put it in your name right now, because I don't have insurance on this, and I can't afford insurance, and I don't have a place for it anymore, and I got to get rid of it. You can have it. And the guy was so happy. He drove off in an 87 Corvette, and he still got it. And he's got an uncle that restores Corvettes, so I think his uncle's going to do some work on it. All it says, Dulcich is the roadkill guy's friend. Well, I don't know who Dulcich is. It's just when Tim's just said Dulcich, I didn't know why he said that. All it says that non-marring hammer.
Yeah.
Tim says, I saw on Engine Masters yesterday. Oh, is Engine Masters still going? I thought all that was gone. Dulcich had his 6-cylinder on there. It was turboed, but it was supercharged, 328 horsepower. Then it blew a head gasket. What kind of 6-cylinder was it? I don't know what he has. Yeah, I used to pay for the Motor Trend thing, and the reason I had it was for Engine Masters. I watched all the Engine Masters, but then I don't know. YouTube's got so much content that I found myself not watching much of Motor Trend anymore, and it was expensive, and I on Social Security, and yeah, I had to make some cuts somewhere, so I just got rid of it. And then I thought they'd shut that down.
I'll be right back. This goes in my vein.
Let's see here. Tim says, I already read that. Elijah Freiberger and Dulcich a road to, oh yeah, it was canceled just recently, but still airs often. Yeah, cause see, I watched those guys a lot, on I didn't watch the Roadkill much at all, maybe saw it once, but I probably saw it once or twice. But the Engine Masters, man, I had to watch every one of those until I quit paying for it. But if you can't put you on wheels, you can put your tools on wheels. Yeah, I guess. Oh, Dart 225 Slant 6. It was a rerun. Man, he had 328 horsepower out of a supercharged. out of a slant six. That's amazing because the slant six doesn't turn real fast. And if it does, think about the piston speed. My God, what's the stroke on a slant six? I forget. Kim will know. It's about 4 inches, I think. Olive says, way to seriously irritate Olive. Use my carpentry mallets to drive tent pegs. Yeah, the wrong tool. Hey, Kim,
Yeah.
what is the stroke on a slant on a 225?
Oh, it's
It's like 4 inches or something, isn't it?
long.
Yeah, it's long. I
I
mean,
don't know.
boards.
Chat's really good at answering.
Chat's real good at answering. Okay, so what's the stroke on a 225 slant six? Uh, Steve Edwards, got to go to bed now. I will subscribe. See, oh, thank you, sir. Yeah, thanks for the sub. Yeah, and come on back because we always have a good time. And Tuesday nights, 7 o'clock Central. We're early Tuesday nights. We're in our studio instead of here in the shop, and we have a big old picture show of everybody's cars. So if you want to send in pictures on Tuesday nights, we show cars and we show people's shops and we show people. More interactive. Yeah, it's very interactive with our viewers. Yeah. You're not going to put more wood in there, are you?
I'm going to put this green wood in there to dry out, but it will not burn.
It's not going to burn, okay, but
it'll cook it. It'll burn next time.
Well, Kim, I'm thinking, I'm just slowly watching the
everybody's
chat die down.
Yeah, wearing out, and I'm wearing out too. A couple of hours of tidying is enough to.
Yeah, you're going to be tired, and we've been on here, 2 hours and 14 minutes?
Yeah. When you call it, you call it. There's no point in thinking it.
So, Kim, I'm going to wait till Kim comes back around here because she's putting wood in the.
You guys have been great. Thank you for all the comments, all the input. Thank you to our moderator.
Tim, is it still raining in Tennessee? No.
Thank you to the friends who have sent us super chats this week. We really appreciate you. It's never expected, but it's much appreciated. And it kind of helps with things like mandatory cam upgrades that you weren't expecting. So.
Yeah, the super chats, I think, bought our used computer over there that was, it's over here now.
It's over here.
It's a very updated computer. It's not very old, but it's used, and then Kim put some cards and things in it. Made it what it is, but it made our lives in the shop really good,
stable and professional. Have you guys seen that we hardly ever glitch? We've worked really hard to get everything going smoothly and to generally have something entertaining for y'all and interactive for us.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. Tuesday nights when we do our live, we do a year, and it's like 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe 80. And we'll show a few pictures from those years. And the year this coming Tuesday is 1969. That's why Buddy Carfano says 1969. So if you send us some pictures, a couple of 1969 cars, we'll show those. But I would almost rather show pictures of your cars. Elijah, wow, I'm in West Tennessee, Carroll County. Yeah, we're in Montgomery County, Tennessee.
Yeah, just south of Clarksville. So and the weather is getting better here. It's actually mild, very mild weather outside, and it's damp because it's been raining for days, but it's not raining now, and there's no more thunder.
Tim says I tried to bribe you and didn't get any points. What was that? I don't know. It went right over my head.
Tim, if you're getting close on points and you just need that little pushover, I'll make sure that you get there.
And for those of you that are new, Kim gives points, and you have to keep track of your own points because we could never keep track of that. But when you get up to 50 points, well, she's going to have some prizes and things, but 50 points is the price on that Subaru out there.
Yeah. All you have to do is pay for delivery or come get it.
It comes with an extra engine and some other things, but it's
2 extra engines.
2 extra engines, but it's out there. So
if I don't sell it first. No, the points have no particular value. They're just for fun and competitive advantage. If you have more points, it's bragging rights and that type of thing. You guys are great. We appreciate you being here because honestly, it would be boring if we didn't have this to do. He looks forward to the he doesn't really even want to come out to the shop unless we're live streaming. That's it. That's how I get him out there. I'm like, we're gonna have a live tonight, and he's like, oh,
Well,
okay,
at
and
some
he
point,
wants to get ready because he
we'll
loves it.
we'll have my Zephyr in here,
Oh
my
yeah,
Fox body,
then I'll make
and
him work.
you'll have to sit, and I'll be under there with it.
I'll have the camera. I'll be filming what you're doing and stuff like that.
Every Oh, says everyone show your own cars anytime. I think most of us ran out of show and tell already. Yeah, I guess all you did send some pictures of your cars, your
All
S10
of
and
it, and
things.
I think that's why we started picking a year, because it's more like everybody can kind of enjoy that and sort of be,
Well,
participate in that.
and you can tell, like we had, I don't remember what year it is. We had something 1967 or something, and there were people on here that told stories about 1967 darts or Mustangs or whatever they had, and so it kind of brought back some memories. So that's fun.
KJ Kiley will 7 points buy that Dakota. That Dakota's a nice little truck.
I think that Dakota's gonna
The
get a
problem would be
360 or a 318 in it.
is if you took that truck, if you took that Dakota up to Pittsburgh, you'd never get stickers on it because it's got the computer is completely disabled. It
Oh,
runs with a carburetor, and here in Tennessee they don't care. I mean, obviously, if it's
but
unsafe or dangerous,
but that truck is not licensed. We drive it on the property, but it will be.
we drove it on the property one time.
It's likely to get one of those small blocks in it and
He
become a
wants to
race
put a
car.
small block.
Well, you were
Clearly,
talking about it.
I got a 360 and a 727 that we could, we'll get a
It'll end
we'll
up
get a special tool and we'll spread the frame rails and just jam it
it,
in there.
it'll end up being a race car. So we got to get out of here.
All right, everyone. We will see you
So
on New
so
Year's Eve.